Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook on Wednesday, the 24th of May. This is Kim speaking. Okay, let's have a look at the euro dollar first. And well, yes, what we're seeing here is quite an extension up until 2 days ago into Monday. We pulled quite a long way away from that daily 8, daily 21 moving averages. Yesterday, it's given back most of the gains of, most of the day, Monday's gains already given back. We also are looking like we're heading down towards a weekly pivot. Just come back here, there was some weakness on the 4-hourly, shown on the 4-hourly with this divergence running between the two highs there, and what we got is a bit of a rollover. Now, as I say, heading back towards that daily 8 may be a possibility, maybe even down to the weekly pivot. One thing to bear in mind as I'm speaking here, we've still got the daily pivot above us, which is quite a major draw. So any sort of break this morning, early point towards that pivot may be a bit of a target, but of course we will have the 21 moving averages to contend with on the way through to that. On the other side, well, if it starts breaking down post 8 o'clock, I'd rather sell into some sort of retrace as opposed to just selling into the move. But if it starts breaking down, would be looking towards that weekly pivot as a target. Okay, let's have a look at the pound. Now, there's no news this morning on these European currencies, and we have got the FOMC meeting minutes due out at 7 p.m. this evening in UK time. So that may just stall things a little bit today. It won't be a total shock if it's a little bit stalled. The only news really got, apart from Draghi speaking at 1:45 this afternoon, and the only other news really is the Bank of Canada rate statement, which may give some volatility to the Canadian dollar at 3 p.m. Okay, let's just look at the cable now then. Dailies here, choppy as anything at the moment on the dailies. You can see bar by bar, and this is obviously reflected in the 4-hourly pivot, 4-hourly candles here. It's very choppy, very difficult to be trading when it's just choppy as that. There is a sign that it could be looking to roll over here with this these big spiky candles here, suggesting there's no strength on the buy side at the moment, and it's rolling as soon as you get a move up. So if it starts breaking down below maybe that 4-hourly 50, may be a good enough sort of signal to try and sell off some more. But it is looking quite bitty. Daily pivot just above us here, so that's not touched yet. That's a short-term target maybe, but not a tradable target for me. But I'll be watching for the reaction to that and see if what comes post, as I say, post 8 o'clock here. Okay, moving down to dollar yen. Again, last few days not really been much out of any sort of range. It looks like, I mean, it's back into its 8 and 21 here. There does on the sort of intermediate time look like there's a potential bit of weakness in this, but here we go. But the problem is it's been quite choppy on the 4-hourly bars there. One decent bar out of it, and it's been sitting for best part of a week there in a very, very tight range. Which makes it quite difficult to be trading. Now, if it does start breaking down below maybe that weekly pivot, it's got an untouched daily pivot that could be hit today. Alternatively, really, well, if it can't hold it, I'm just looking. There is some signs of a bit of divergence on those highs there. It really depends on how it breaks this morning. It's not very clear. As I said, it's been sitting in consolidated for large periods, and which makes it a higher risk trade at the moment. But if it does start selling to the downside, as I say, we've got the daily pivot there. Maybe I'd be looking down then towards the lows of this range. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is sort of again, it's got the potential of a rollover here. It's come back, air kissed the monthly pivot there. and looks like it could at some point break down further here. It's setting up to leave maybe a pivot swing on the candles there, which is a weak signal, but obviously today's candle's not finished yet. Again, you can see over the last week it was very choppy. This week it started off pretty much in a bit of a trend to the upside there, and already selling off. Short term, well, any sort of decent rallies could see it running back towards its daily pivot there, but it's one that I don't trust very much during the UK session here, and we could be quite limited with it. Okay, and finally Canadian dollar. As I said, there's news coming out on the Canadian dollar later on at 3 p.m. We've got the Bank of Canada's overnight rate announcement, and there'll be the analysis will be looking for the statement and see if there's anything in that which suggests reflects the strength of the economy there. Okay, so what we're seeing is it's been strengthening against the US dollars. It's been coming down here again. It's put in a bit of a reversal bar yesterday. The hammer into the 50 moving average. It's got a weekly pivot above us, which you could still be targeting, or could be a target, I should say. So weakness would of the Canadian dollar would see this pushing up as it's US dollar Canadian dollar. So any weakness would see it pushing back up towards this weekly pivot 50 MA. It may be traders are balancing their books before the news comes out here, and sometimes after a strong move down here you get some sort of reaction ready before the news comes out, so that may happen. Now we have got the daily pivot below us, so selling below the 8 moving average daily 60-minute 8 may see, that trend line may see us running back towards that. There are plenty of points of support on the way though, and again it's not been flowing particularly well, although better than some pairings. So in summary, the markets have been sitting in a bit of a chop mode by looks of things for large parts of the day. It's just a case of if we can catch a decent move or off the off of an early morning move maybe, or later afternoon. I think the markets will be waiting today for the FOMC meeting minutes later on at 7 p.m. to get, or the analysts will be waiting for that, and we may get some better reaction into tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Bye for now.